But what are the symbols for justice? You ever seen the statue, the symbol for justice, Lady Justice? You ever seen that? You have. Lady Justice, the scales, the sword, and the blindfold. You've seen it, right? The symbols for justice are this. This first symbol is the balanced scales. If it's going to be just, we got to start out with balanced scales. Now, we'll figure out in the end which way the scales ought to be weighed, but right now it's balanced. Until I hear the evidence, it's balanced. That's the first symbol. As a matter of fact, if you ever get to the book of Daniel chapter 5, in the book of Daniel chapter 5, there's a guy named Belshazzar. He's the king. He's the son of Nebuchadnezzar. And he has taken the golden vessels out of the temple of God and just using them and just drinking and having fun with it and partying. And all of a sudden, the Bible says there's a handwriting on the wall. And the handwriting says, Mene, Mene, Tekel, Upharsin. Now, Belshazzar has all of his astrologers, but none of them can determine what it says. So the queen comes in and says, hey, there's a guy here, his name used to be Daniel, you changed it, but he's the wisest person we know. And Daniel comes in and he interprets for the king what Mene, Mene, Tekel, Upharsin means. And this is what it means. You have been weighed in the balances. Justice is about to come. You've been weighed in the balances and you've been found wanting. Your kingdom is divided. And the very next day, Belshazzar died. Belshazzar died. The first symbol of justice is the balances. You got to believe and know that when I come before the king, that it's impartial. Nobody's got an upper hand yet. We ain't spoke our case yet. There is no upper hand yet. It's balanced. The second symbol is the sword. The sword represents the power. The sword represents that the person we're standing in front of has the power to make a decision. And the sword is a double-edged sword, which means it can cut either way. It's going to cut one or the other. It always amazes me when I watch these judge shows, and if you had to be a judge, or if you got even two kids, when you got two people standing in front of you, telling two different stories, one of them's lying. I mean, I don't know. I'm sitting there watching those judge shows, and I'm just thinking, one of them actually came into court to lie. They're actually standing there, and they're going to lie. And they're going to stand on that lie until the judge has to make a decision. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Knowing, if you're the judge, one of them is about to walk in here and lie right to my face. And knowing if you're the liar, you're about to walk in here and just tell a bold-faced lie, hoping you get off. The third symbol is the blindfold. Justice is supposed to be blind. Justice is supposed to be impartial. Justice doesn't care how much education you have, how much wealth you have, how much fame you have, how much stature you have. Justice, I said, is supposed to be blind if it's true justice. And so the symbol of justice is the scale, the sword, and the blindfold.